Chapter number 7, and as promised, I mentioned that I will be doing certain slides with you online. So one of the first slides I want to do with you is slide number 12 from chapter number 7. Now, in the last lecture, I already did the slides before that, and chapter 7 is particularly about corporate strategies. Just to review, I mentioned that corporate strategies are further divided into 3 levels, meaning that there is something called um, portfolio strategy, like the one I'm looking at right now. Then you have parenting strategy, and then you have the directional strategy, which we did in class. Now, for this one particularly, portfolio strategy, you'll see on the top they have I have another title for you. It's called a BCG matrix, which is used for portfolio analysis. Now, to first inform you about this, if I say portfolio strategy, it simply means that the company would initially do a portfolio analysis, meaning they would look at themselves and analyze where in the portfolio do they stand. Now, what does the term portfolio actually mean? Portfolio means kind of like introduction or kind of like a classification. Where is the company? So it's like it's you as a student, you doing a portfolio analysis for yourself would identify, masalan, that you are a marketing major or an HR major or another major. And once you know what your major is, you can then develop yourself accordingly. So it does pave the way for you to build the right strategy. So it's the same scenario here. When I say portfolio analysis, it automatically means we're talking about portfolio strategies. Now, the key tool that has been identified for this kind of strategy making is a tool created by Boston Consulting Group. And they made this matrix, and it's named as Boston Consulting Group Matrix, or simply BCG. Now, heads up, I'm telling you from now, in the exam, I could simply ask you, okay, what's BCG? And this is something that you start learning from marketing principles. And you take it again in international business and now here. So please bear in mind, you should be knowing now that what does BCG stand for. Now, BCG matrix or Boston Consulting Group matrix, it has been done with you. That's why we're doing this as a slide here. How we're going to look at it is, first of all, we want to look at 2 of its factors which actually lead to the creation of this matrix. Now, the 2 factors, I'm going to discuss them first, then I'll talk about their parameters, which are these, like low and high, and then I will move forward to the 4 types. So let's begin. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the business growth rate. Now, the business growth rate can refer to the amount of business the company is doing, the amount of, let's say, shops they're opening, the amount of investment they're doing. It is a broad term. So when we use the term business growth rate, we're referring to anything that ensures or displays that the business is growing. It could be growing in sales, it could be growing in terms of expansion, any of those. So again, this is further discussed if you continue to do a master's in strategic management. For us, we just want to look at the term business growth rate and understand it means that how is the business growing. Now, business growth rate can either be low, like you do have some companies which tend to have a very slow or non-existent growth rate. And then you move forward to a mediocre and then a high business growth rate. High business growth rate companies are those who are actually moving very quickly in expansion, doing new products, doing new businesses, and growing very quickly in the market. So this is the first term. This is the first parameter for our matrix. The second parameter that I want to talk about is the relative position. Again, in some diagrams, you'll find they use the term relative position, or maybe in your marketing principle course, you took the term market share. Both are fine. If you can remember market share, that's the best. Now, when we use the term market share means the share or the amount of market that you have. Like, for example, if you're a company which is doing very well, definitely you have a high market share. However, if you're a company which is not having too many customers, then definitely you have a low market share. Now, I want to highlight here, Be careful that the business growth rate moves from low to high, whereas market share in this matrix moves from high to low. Okay, bear this in mind. Do not put low and low here. Now, considering these both terms, we can now start moving towards the 4 different types of portfolios that companies can fall in. So let us first start from here. Now, if there is a company which has low market share and low business growth rate, then actually it is a company which is a dog company. Haram, I don't know why they call him dog, but this is a company which is literally in a very bad situation. Now, in this situation, a company which is a dog company, literally it is called a dog status company. The only ideal situation is if a company does an analysis and they fall here, they should liquidate. If they don't liquidate, they can very well go into bankruptcy. I already discussed what does liquidation and bankruptcy mean in the class. Now, on the other hand, if you're a company which has high market share but low growth rate, then you're known as a cash cow. Now, a cash cow company is someone who is enjoying a good market share, however, they are not growing so quickly. So, again, this is a company which has to act quickly. If they don't make new strategies, they can very easily lose their market share and go into a dog company. Now, a dog company example could be any company which is not doing well and they need to liquidate. So, for example, I gave you examples in the class as well. Any company which is closing down, which feels it's not doing so well, can be classified as a dog company. Whereas a cash cow, as a local example, you can consider it as the Jumjum dairy industry. If you look at the Jumjum yogurts and milk, it is having a certain specific market share. However, they're not doing anything new to grow their business. So they're literally at the moment being cash cows. Now, moving on, we have a company which has a low market share, but it's growing very quickly. Now, this company is known as a question mark. A question mark company is someone who has a lot of new things coming up. They're doing a lot of new ideas, a lot of new activities, new products, new campaigns. However, as yet, they're unable to capture a good sized market share, meaning they don't have many customers. Now, here, question mark companies are in a limbo, like meaning they could either become very good star companies or they can easily slide down to be a dog company. This arrow on this side is actually trying to say that it can slide down into a dog stat as well. So these are question mark companies. Question mark companies are any new companies that are as yet not established. If you look around yourself, even in Saudi Arabia, you'll find so many new initiatives. They're doing so many new things to grow their business. However, their market share as yet is low or undetermined. Then we finally have the star company. Now, the star company is the ideal company. This is the company which is high in growth rate, high in market share, meaning this is your ideal case scenario. A company like this is in a very good position. They're enjoying good profits. They're enjoying good market share. So for them, they can actually rely on this and maybe go back and do a stability strategy. Now, in this company, they will also encourage investor to invest because it is in a good situation. So these were the 4 types. Now the question stands that, okay, how would a company be actually using this matrix? Now we need to recognize that this kind of portfolio analysis is true for only a specific time period, meaning maybe a company in January could be a question mark, but maybe by the end of that year, December, they might have become a star. So it's not like a fixed title that you get. It is just an analysis technique to recognize where does the company stand. Now, how do companies use this? They can do a portfolio analysis once or twice a year, see where they are, and then they can go back to a directional strategy, meaning they can go back and choose a growth, a stability, or retrenchment strategy based on where they are. Okay, so this was the BCG matrix. I discussed all its different parts. I discussed the types. I talked about what should be done if you're a certain type. And plus, I also talked about how is it overall used by companies. So if you have any comments, any questions, please go to the Moodle. You'll find a discussion board under this, the link for this slide, and go and comment if you've watched it. Just comment you've watched it. If you have questions, ask me questions, give me feedback, and then we'll do this more often if possible. Thank you.